Hello everybody, this is Deb from Just Do Something Homestead, and today we're going to talk about how and why you should be stocking up. Before we get started, I want to show you my eggs, just because if you're not raising chickens, you really should consider it. None of these are washed, they are beautiful, and my hens are laying like crazy. Okay, back to this video on stocking up, and what you see is a whole lot of granola cereal. Why in the world would I have 29 bags of cereal on my countertop? Today we're going to talk about buying organic food, stocking up your pantry, and how to vacuum seal to make sure that everything you purchase is going to last longer. It all comes down to stocking up your pantry. Are you filling up your pantry for a rainy day? Or maybe for a day that's a little scarier than rain. When I started homesteading over 35 years ago, things were a lot different then. Yes, I stocked up on food, but for a very different reason. We were young, in our 20s, and honestly, we simply just didn't have any money. So if I could find a good sale, then I stocked up on it. But now I stock for a very different reason. I am stocking up because of the concern for shortages in the store, for additives and bioengineered products that are available, and because the prices are going sky high. Tonight is the beginning of 2024. This is the last day of December, and to say that I'm a little worried is a huge understatement. When I turn on the news, it is very depressing. When you start listening to what our economy has become and how much food is and how much garbage is in our food, you start to reevaluate absolutely everything. I cannot predict the future any more than you can or most of the people on the news. But what I can see is the past. And these prices are skyrocketing, but yet our income is not. And eventually this is going to come crashing through. Add that to a very aggressive presidential election, and I think we are heading into some hard times. We are told not to worry, but there's a difference between worrying and preparing, and I would rather be prepared. I'm not going to tell you it's too late to do something, because I firmly believe it is not. But one of the things I recommend that everybody be doing, and doing quickly, is to stock up on everything that you eat. And as prices rise, that is going to get more difficult and more difficult to do. I know money is tight, and so what I try to do is take advantage of things I find on sale. This is butter. When I canned this in 2022, I was buying a pound of butter for $2.49. That pound of butter is now $5.45. But you know what? I have a lot of butter to keep me going. So how in the world do I find specials on organic food that is less than regular food? To be honest, it is pure luck. When I run into a special, I buy as many of them as possible. And please, when I was young and kind of foolish, I would get maybe, one salad dressing. It's on sale. Leave the rest for somebody else. Not anymore. My family has to take priority. And if there are 3 that are marked down, I am going to buy all 3. Because in the past, I would go back a few days later to get some more, only to find that they were completely sold out. So today I'm going to show you some amazing deals that I got just yesterday, Saturday the 30th, and how I am going to vacuum seal them to get them to last for years. But first, I'm going to show you some video from yesterday. All I did was run into my local Martin's or Giant in search of something for dinner since my dad was visiting. And look what happened. I just ran into my local Martin's to grab a couple things, and oh my goodness, they had 75% off a lot of organic food. And so I grabbed as much as I could. This is what I am talking about. Oh my goodness. This doesn't expire until August 2024. It is $1.24. I am going to load up. And under all that cereal was powdered sugar. $2.99. And this, let's see, is good until 2026. Crazy. Then, of course, there's chicken, which is half off. For fish, it's 40% off today. Don't think you can afford organic? Always, always look for sales. This note that I left for the guys who were out hunting, I wrote down some chicken scratch to figure out exactly what I saved. So I bought 29 boxes of cereal, 5 sugar, 3 chicken, and 2 fish. And this was the price that was on sale. So I spent $69.13, but this is the price of what it actually would have been, which was $218.40. So I saved $149.27. None of these food items were expired, and that was very exciting, but it leads me to think why. The first reason is people in my area do not typically buy organic food. So my fear is they are discontinuing it, and that will be a very sad day. One of the most important things about stocking food is making sure you do not waste any of it. It is pointless to buy all this food and then throw it away when you don't use it. So I am going to show you today how to preserve all of your dried ingredients by vacuum sealing it and extending the best by date. Vacuum sealing your food keeps the critters out, extends the best by date, and by putting it in jars, I can see exactly what I have. To vacuum seal, you're going to need some washed and completely dry canning jars. I'm going to use quart size and half gallon. I like a large funnel, so I'm not going to get my product all over the counter. You need some rings and lids. These do not need to be brand new lids. You can reuse your lids over and over with vacuum sealing, and that is why I have writing on mine. And then the last thing you're going to need is a quality vacuum sealer. This is my food saver. It is FM 5200. And I also had to purchase the jar sealer lids themselves because they did not come with my vacuum sealer. But I highly recommend getting a strong powered vacuum sealer for long-term storage. A couple little things you may need is a Sharpie to write on the lids, paper towels for when I'm doing powders, and I am going to be vacuum sealing some powdered sugar, so I'm going to want a barrier, and I find it easy to use paper towel. And this is just a plastic lid so that if I have a little cereal left, I am just going to put it in a jar and put a plastic lid on. This will go directly in my kitchen, not for storage. Since my goal is to never, ever waste anything, I am going to vacuum seal all of this cereal. Now, typically, if you watch my other videos, you know that I like to mix my cereals. At this point, this is the only type of cereal I have, so I am not going to mix it today. I can always do that in the future by opening a couple of my jars and stirring them together and resealing them. First things first, I'm going to divide these into the 3 types of cereal that I got. I have fruit and nut, maple, and then vanilla. So I'm only going to seal 1 flavor at a time in my jars. I'm going to start vacuum sealing my vanilla almond granola cereal. Now, if you watched my video in the store, you noticed that I was able to get cereal and powdered sugar. Both of these items are going to be vacuum sealed, but I also got chicken and fish. We had the fish for dinner, and I immediately froze all the chicken. Vacuum sealing is so easy to do. First thing you're going to do is fill your half-gallon canning jars with your cereal. And I always use half-gallon for cereal because 1 half-gallon lasts about 1 week for me eating cereal. These bags are 12 ounces each, and I was able to put 2.5 bags into the first half-gallon jar. So right now it looks like it is completely full, but what I like to do is take off my funnel and then shake it back and forth and pound it on the counter, and this is going to sink down lower. And look at all the space that I've gained simply by knocking this around on my countertop. So at this point, I'm going to put the funnel back on, and I'm going to add some more cereal. As I refill it, I just take my fingers and wipe off any crumbs that may have been on that lid. And I put a used lid on top. This one says organic flour, but I'm going to remedy that. So next thing, I'm just going to put on my jar sealer, just like this. I'm going to plug my vacuum sealer hose into the top of the jar, turn it on, and push start. And these sealers shut off completely on their own. You're going to pull this off and you should hear the airflow, just like that, and remove the jar sealer. You want to test that seal. The center of your lid should be sunken in, and when you pull on this, it should not come off. In fact, you can pull very hard on there. This lid should not pop. Since the Best By date on this cereal is 2024, I will automatically add 1 year and date it for 2025. My jar says organic flour, Best By 2025. So I am going to take a magic eraser and just erase the top part. This is a dry magic eraser, and you're just going to rub it back and forth, and it easily comes off. And this one says organic vanilla almond granola, Best By 2025, and that's what BB means. Last step is to put a ring on it. Now this differs from canning. Canning you store without the rings, but vacuum seal you do, in case you end up with a false seal, which I have never gotten from my food saver. But if it were to get dropped and break the seal, it's not going to make your food stale immediately. I'm going to go ahead and vacuum seal the rest of my organic cereals, dividing it by the flavors. I am now going to vacuum seal the powdered confectioner's sugar. This time I'm going to use quart jars, and I'm still sticking with the wide mouth. If I have ever had any issues with vacuum sealing, it's not a false seal. I do not get false seals with my food saver, but I do have small mouth or regular mouth ones that will not seal. And so I have found that I just stick with wide mouth for vacuum sealing and small mouth for canning. Now, another reason is small mouth or regular are cheaper and you can only use them one time. But the wide mouth you can use over and over for vacuum sealing. Each bag of powdered sugar is 16 ounces or 1 pound. And typically in the past, I've been able to get a bag and a half in each of my jars. The same thing as you did with the granola. You're going to fill your jar, and actually with a powder like this, it's going to sink even further when you pound it down on your counter, and then you can add more. At this point, the process is a little different because it is a powder. If you don't put a barrier in between your product and the jar lid, it will get sucked into your vacuum sealer, and it's ultimately going to ruin it. So I have just cut off a square of paper towel, and I am going to push that across the top and then fold it down inside. You don't want it sticking out over the rim of your jar. So all of it goes inside, and it creates that barrier. And just like before, you're going to rub the top of your jar to make sure there's no loose powder on that space, and then put a flat on it. Everything else is just like the granola. You're going to put on the jar sealer, plug it in, and turn it on. Then check the seal. It is sunk down in the center, and when I pull on it, it is not going to open. So that jar is sealed. Just write on it and put a ring on it. The Best By on these packages of powdered sugar was 2026. So I add a year, and it's good until at least 2027. important when you do powdered ingredients that you write on the lid exactly what is in that jar, because it's difficult to tell if it's flour, powdered sugar, powdered milk, or all different things that are powdery. So make sure you write on the lid so you don't get it mixed up. And there you have it. I have vacuum sealed 10 half gallons of cereal, which is granola organic, and then 3.5 quarts of powdered sugar. All of this cereal and sugar plus 3 packs of chicken and 2 packs of fish cost me $69, and all of it is organic. So why do I stock up? So that my family has the best organic foods that I can purchase, and I make sure they are fresh by vacuum sealing them. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. Have a blessed New Year, everybody, and make sure that you are stocking up every single day. Bye-bye.